Well, hello and welcome to Stitches and Coffee with Jurgita. My name is Jurgita, and I want to welcome especially those who's never visited me before, and also those of you who's been with me for a long, long time. I'm so glad that you keep coming back and seeing what I do is whip progress and new starts and all those experimental new styles, not only needlework that I'm trying to do, especially this year. So today is July 2nd, and I'm starting my July video. And though I'm still a little tired of my weekly trip to Seattle with my family, we did a lot of touristy things for a good week, but we're back now, and we kind of need to jump back in regular lives. So need to catch up on all of the comments that you guys made, plus doing all the videos and uploading pictures. So just transferring from my phone, and I brought also my bigger camera for pictures from a trip, so we have to do still all that, and of course the house things were left behind, clean up and laundry, etc. But I'm sure you don't need to know all the details of that. So let's delve in first of all in our Stitchy projects. So as always, I try to start the month with my spoiled child, and for this year, I'm reminding you, all of you that forgot maybe about this or just never seen me, because I know there's a lot of other floss tubers online nowadays that I do this project each month. And for this year, I have a minimum about 3,900 stitches to do if I want to finish this full thing by end of next year of 2025. So this one I'm stitching an 18 count the full cross. So total should be project once it's done 231,300 stitches, and it has 153 symbols. 48 of them pure DMC colors and 105 will be blends. I started second month of 2019, so it's been quite a few months, and right now this is what it should look like when it's done, or at least this is the picture that I fell in love with, and Astra did the pattern, and this is where I'm going to be starting. So like always, I try to grab a section and work just in the section and then continue next one. So it's about the 50 stitches down, and I just go slowly. And right now I'm just leaving like those hanging threads, I call it, everybody calls sparking. And since main characters are already done, right now it's just more details gonna be. So this time I'm hoping, like right now we're stuck around this area, up down to practically knee. So I'm hoping to catch a little bit of horses, dogs, like a face or at least a nose. So there's going to be some more detail finishing up with the like a table cover in here and the sleeves. So we'll see how much I can do, and so far I'm still a little bit ahead of myself, so that's good. It gives me some breathing room if I need be at the end of the year. So this is where I'm gonna start, and I guess I'll come back to you when I have about at least hopefully 3,900 stitches, or there's something interesting I want to show it to you. So let's start this spoiled child. Well, it's evening 4th of July and fireworks are starting, and it's driving my dog nuts at home, and that's why we didn't go anywhere to watch the fireworks. So I don't know if you can hear it through my little microphone. But what's interesting, I didn't know until like today that actually Declaration of Independence was signed not fully on the 4th of July, but August 2nd, because it's been traveling, and in total 56 delegates have to sign it. And that I think the king, what was Georgia, I think King of England at that time, did not receive the news on that until like August, I think 6th or 11th even, so that's even later. But yeah, 4th of July is not technically like when everybody signed it, because traveling was harder back in those days, and that's why it's been traveling as a parchment around. So that's a tidbit news that I did not know about. Uh, so yes, fireworks going, even though it's illegal in residential places here to do that. So for stitching, I just like finished 2 areas in here, and then I'm gonna stitch a tiny bit more for a day or two to continue, so I could do reach way past my minimum point, because I'm in it. And as you can see, right here, that's a spoon, and that's where the dog starts right now. And this lamp is really bleaching everything, especially light colors in the hand. But this is what I got so far. So just like wanted to show you and tell you a little bit tidbits of history that I just learned myself. So um, happy Independence, America! I guess, even if it's not just 4th of July, but that's, you have to pick a date to celebrate it, I guess, and that's the 4th. So I guess next time I'll see you is going to be a tiny bit stitch more, and I'm sure it's going to be nothing very interesting, but at least I'll have a bit more done. And I guess I was so starving for stitching that after trip, it just was flying through my fingers, the needle and the thread. And today is the 6th, so I've done it all by last night, finished it. So I'm sure you can see the difference now. Finished the hand and the corner of that chair, I guess, with a spoon, and there's a tiny bit already starting of doggy part right here. Not enough to see what it is, but you can see the hand sticking out. And then I've done this part. I'm almost finished with the threads. And then late at night, I did not want to start like the whole area, so I decided to pick up all the loose hanging threads and just do some needed just some stitches, some way more, like going through, like straight through. And I've decided to kind of stop, not to mark and count, but just finishing off at a reasonable area. And this is what it looks like. And every time I walk by it, I like it more and more. This is what it should look like, and we'll see next time. Let's see, the lady's hand will be finished, hopefully. Nothing very interesting gonna be seen, just a continuation, like her knee, perhaps. We'll see how much I can do next time, because this time I went beyond what I could see myself stitching this month. So I guess my hunger for stitching did not subsided, did not stop, and I was really into it and did not want to even stop today. But I will stop. I stitch way more than I was planning to, and other pieces are calling me. So we'll see what I grab next. But this is it for month of July for my spoiled child. And I got, I think, a good start for the next month. So that's what we have. And since today is July 6th, in Lithuania, it's a big celebration. The King Mindaugas crowning day from a history. And Lithuanians throughout the world are encouraged to sing at certain time of the day national anthem. And also right now it's a closing ceremony of dance and music festival, 100th year in Lithuania, where dancers and singers throughout the whole world gather up together. I don't know how many, 12 or 30 some thousand people gather up and sing and dance. So I thought for this occasion, of course, I have to stitch my queen, Barbora Radvilaitė. She was Poland and Lithuania's like a queen, and a beautiful love story between her and her husband. Sad ending, of course, but I thought that was the perfect date to continue stitching her. Right now, let's see what I have up to this point. Since I've started not that long ago comparatively, I have about 22.48%. So it's almost 23% done. And so far, I've been just stitching the main part of her portrait. Astra pattern. She has her like a portrait in a separate different styles. There's a black and white, sepia, and like this one. So I picked this one like it would have been drawn on I don't know, is that wood or something like that. And of course, since I'm stitching on 24 count Congress Strömmen fabric, which is white, and it would be hard to stitch like a cover up that white color. So I'm going to be starting to fill in this empty spot like you see in here, sort of like a black, but I think I might use very dark brown maybe in here. Not sure yet if I want to go fully black, although I have 310 the most, I think. But I'm going to start filling in areas so I can then frame her in a normal frame, because the oval also would be covering all those little wooden like parts in here. Seems like they just weaved wood in this area all around, so I don't want to miss those details. So I might also continue like switch in between the regular stitching around and filling in the portrait main area. Like I said, it's about 23%, but I'm hoping to spend a couple of days with her, and we'll see. I don't think I'm gonna stitch her white parts yet. Just go with the gloomy brownish dark colors. So this is what I have right now, and I guess I'll come back with some stitching done. Well, let's see what 2 days of stitching gave me. So I've started just a tiny bit of a black doing in here, and of course camera shows a little bit more white showing through. But then I had an idea that I might be able to bring this piece to stitch at my stitch gatherings, and I then don't have to think and just go and fill in with one color, and I would able to see probably where if I miss by chance one stitch, but that would be great thing to do while I'm just chatting, I guess. Don't have to look at the pattern or anything. It's just go row by row. So I might do that. So I did a little bit as a sample. I actually picked the black color because I think it might stand out like in the picture a little bit more, because I thought about 3371, I think is that the color, that dark brown, and because I have all this brown, I think I needed something a little bit more in the contrast, so that's why I picked the black color. And let's see where I've done more than I was thinking of able to do. And I stopped kind of like where her crown starts and her face. So since the colors were changing in there, that's why I decided to stop. So I did fill in this whole area, and then I had a little bit more time and didn't want to stop, so just started to finishing off like a hanging threads in here, park threads. So it just went a little bit more down into the frame, and that's where I'm gonna be leaving her. So let's see, this part is about like here, so then about this much, and we'll see a little bit more dark colors. Like here you see light, yeah, like this one. And same is going to be there. I might just leave herself towards the end when I filled in this area, so it will be more fun maybe to stitch. But this is where my Barbora is, or Barbara in English, gonna be until I get a chance to grab her few days of some at a time. So a couple of days at a time, I think it's plenty for me if I stitch like a full day filling in and late into the night. Not a lot of different bright colors, but that's what the frame is. I'm sure I'm gonna have plenty of light colors and lots of work to do in this area. So this is where she's gonna be staying for a bit. And today is July 8th, 7/8 of 24. And I have my coffee that we got those cups when we went to see whale watching in Washington from Edmonds, Washington by Seattle. So we saw all kinds of different types of whales and killer whales and gray whales and other kind of water creatures. So I thought that also would be appropriate to start something sea themed, and it would be this like a Ocean Princess. It's called by Dimensions. There was a Chart and Charms sort of like a kit that's a pattern and a couple of charms included in that that was sold very long ago, and it's practically impossible to find something like this. So I found the pattern online, and I couldn't just stay away from this design. I thought that was such a different style mermaid that I just need to stitch, because I probably will never be able to find this as original kit, and we'll have to substitute some things. But if I would find it eventually, it probably would be costing arm and a leg. So too bad that they're not remaking it again or just selling as a pamphlets, because I would buy it in a blink of half a blink of eyes. So this Ocean Princess, I thought such a difference in style and how it is done. So I'm gonna start stitching it, and if you have this pattern and would like to pass it on to me, sell it or gift it away, I would gladly take it. So let's start. So I've picked this fabric. You can see first of all those colors that gonna be used. So it looks like where would you find this bright color? But as you can see, it should have in some sea areas on the floor, plants, and that's amazing to look at. And it now will remind me of Seattle Aquarium that we went to a week ago. So these are the colors, and I already moved all main colors. There's like only one pure color that will need to be is a white, so I moved all on this thread holder, so you can see all the colors there. So it's all ready to be stitched, and I've picked antique white Belfast linen, 32 count, that I'm going to be stitching. So probably I might start from a middle, or I might start from the like a top. There's areas going to be that are not stitch, so it's left as a white. So of course I'm gonna have to leave it as a white. I'm not gonna stitch the whitish areas, and we can see like a waves of water in here moving. And I saw it stitched, of course, just on the YouTube, but it was amazing. It was actual pearls, and I might even add also a net in here. We'll see. It's gonna be a while before I need to FFO this one, but the middle is somewhere like around here, around her hip area with the greenery. So don't know if I'm gonna just go up or what, but I want to start it today. And my goal is just to start. This pattern will have not only pure colors, but different types of blends, where you would have like a 2 of one color and 1 of another color, and just with the one strand for half cross. So just a regular combined full crosses, half crosses, regular ones, and stuff like that. The charms attached are going to be like something like this. You can see the areas for the charms. So I'll have to also pick charms that I like to put it in there. So I printed out the pattern. It's not very clear, but I'm sure I'll figure something out. It's just I want to stitch this so badly. I've been waiting to stitch her for quite a few years. And I've been looking through eBay's and Etsy's and the resale groups on Facebook and never found the actual pattern. So that's why I'm starting this, and I'm very curious how she's gonna turn out for myself, live viewing. So let's start. And after one day of stitching, I just mainly decided to go from the about the middle point and go left. And then I was using only two colors, so it's kind of bluish and greenish. And it's being stitched like those waves in here. For example, you can see like a light coming through those waves being stitched just as a half stitch going one way. So when everything else is stitched, it's gonna be popping out a little bit more. I like how it looks, although that when I was stitching just the green, it looked kind of weird, but then I was filling up this light blue color, and I think it's gonna look good. And in this area is already when the hair starts very much in here, so there's still quite a bit of the water is going to be in the background. You will see again, so I know how to stitch now, and it will be easy which colors. And I'm sure the hair will have way more, and it's going to be full X, so that's where it's going to work majority. But this is the wave that goes all the way to the top. So I've reached the left side and the top area, so this is where I'm gonna leave it. I think I did good enough progress. It's like 2.9% or something like that. So it's almost 3. And I got this very cute little mermaid that has sparkles inside, so it can move when you move it around. So I thought that would be perfect. Also cute mermaid versus like this one. And I put it in on like a Q-snap of my own, that it has its own like a stand, so I can put on my lap or on a table. So as you can see, there's still enough space around the edge here that I moved, so I could just pretty much fully half fits in there, plus a little bit extra, and then some of the fabric is going to be on that side. But this I think is a good place to stop on my Ocean Princess, and we'll see where I go. It's just gonna work half, or maybe later I'll put it on a big frame, but we'll see. So far it's sturdy in my frame here, and I want to stitch more, but something else is calling, so this is gonna be my stopping point for this time. And now I decided to pull out my Silent Flight by Dimensions Gold Collection design to stitch on, because my goal this year is to do 50%, and so far I have only 6%, which means I just started it and it's already half a year past. So I have it on my homemade frame, and the way I started stitching, I found the top corner, and then started stitching. No, actually I started stitching from the very middle and went up, but the way I did was I flipped the design upside down, so would be easy instead of like reaching and doing backwards. So I just did and went down. So I think now it's okay to have it a normal way. And as you can see, this is just like a light and the clouds in here showing up. So, and it's only 6%. So the background majority is stitched in a half stitches. As you can see, I'm stitching it on original fabric that was included in the kit, and that was 18th count tan cotton Ada, it says, with original dimensions threads, and it's sorter. So I think I'm just gonna continue filling in, because I would just pick a color and try to finish all that color, and then pick a next one that's next to it and just filling in. But this is what I have so far. It looks something like a contemporary style with dragon eye, and you can tell where this dragon eye is right here. So there's still a lot for me to do, so I need to get cracking, because this piece, as you can see, that's the whole width in here. So this is just like a half of that, and it's also not fully stitched. So it's going to be, I think it's a full coverage piece. So I need to get cracking on that. Only 6% done so far, so I need to really push myself to stitch. But some places should have more like a one color spots, like we see in here. Just like, I think it's going to be one color, but it's not with one or two threads in here stitch. As you can see, there's, I think there was those light colors with the three. I have to double check, but just pulled it out, and I need to get cracking on that. It's very rainy behind windows. It's a leftover from hurricane. I don't know which one, but it's good time to sit at home and stitch. So here it is, Silent Flight. I'm continuing right now. And this is what I've got after working like for 4 days, although it was not 4 full days. It was like partial, very partial kind of days, and it's almost like no stitching. But I just concentrated on this half of the area and starting to fill in. So actually, as you can see, I reached the very corner in here, and those stitches look like so dark, but when you get as a whole thing, when you back out, it kind of starts blending more, and you will see in the picture, and just been filling in, and all of that is with the half stitches. Some of them were like a 4 stitches total, so I would just fold 2 threads in half, and that's how I would stitch. So there's slightly different dimensions, and it looks like really uneven stitches, which in some cases might have been because of the fabric like this, but it probably will still make the bird here really pop out. And I think I'm gonna leave it at it this time. I added several more percentage numbers in here, so I'm happy at least with that, even though, like I said, it was not full days, but at least I filled in some more in that. So there's just a couple of different symbols left to fill in this area, and then I could move in to the right side. So that's where I'm gonna stop this round, and we'll pull out again maybe in a couple months, so we'll see. So that's it, and we'll go to the next. And today is the 13th of July already. Good evening in the timing. And I've decided to pull out and start something new again from my list of this year's starts. So as you can see, it's going to be Lizzie Kate's design. It's called Promise Me. And I think it's always good to have something like this for kids. And I don't know if I'll do 3 times this, or we'll make some changes, but it took me a while to figure out the sizing that I want the final picture to be. And I thought about stitching like over one, like maybe 25 count, but the height, it would be very small, like a couple inches or something. So I figured no, I should go with a little bit bigger because it's long and skinny. So this Promise Me is gonna be 205 by 68, and I picked the cream color Belfast linen 32 count. So the sizing, it should be about the same since it's the same count. It's just a different shading, I guess I could say, of the fabric. And instead of like a Gentle Arts and All Weeks Dye Works as listed here, I've decided to kind of do mismatch of different threads. Some of them will be what it was called, but some, as you can see, like a mauve sail, and I thought that would look good. So I was looking at the pictures, and try and figure out, well, what else I could go that's sort of similar but maybe not. And this is what I came up with. And maybe later on, if you're interested, I could tell you my substitutions, but this is what I'll be using so far. And I'm gonna start and come back to you with at least a tiny bit of a start, because like I said, it's kind of late in the evening, and we're just after dinner, so I have a few minutes to start something. And after just a few hours of kind of relaxing, slow stitching, I got like this. So I measured in the middle, and that's where I started, and just went on both sides, finished up the word, finished the thread. But what's interesting in the pattern that it's there's no like a gray area where it repeats between the lines. So for example, let's see which way I could so I could show you a little bit, not like a whole thing. So like this line, and you can see like you will, and next sort of like a page in here, it repeats. So there's no, it's quite a bit of the stitches here, and it's repeating, so I have to pay attention. At first I couldn't figure out, because that this is where I started, and it's like this doesn't match, because it's not a gray area in here that we usually used to seeing when the pattern repeats between like a pages. So if you're planning to stitch this, just be aware of that, because there's no markings. But this is the middle line in both areas right here. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, and I like how the color here went. Maybe over camera it's harder to see, plus it's a little bit showing darker for you, but how the color slightly changes in here. And I think I might put strong words for the meaning in a different color, like well, I did braver, but stronger, smarter. I might do those different colors, and this is slightly different colors too. So we'll see. Right now, that's what I had as a thought last night. So yeah, I'm sure it's gonna stitch super fast. Like I said, I just spent a couple relaxing slow hours stitching those few words and figure out the threads. So yeah, it's fun stitch. And now I've decided to pull out my Silk Queen, because around this time is, I think at least around this time, I started this in July 20th, 2023, and that was when the Dragon Boat Festival was. So that's why I started, because you see kind of dragon tattoo in here, dragon sitting there with the head, and it's all red, and that's gonna be very long stitching, because as you see all those details, tiny details, it's such a gonna be probably confetti heavy piece, except probably like those areas. But lots of color changes gonna be in her dress, because it's very saturated with colors, and that's one of the things that drew me in. And pattern is by Astra. As you can see, I'm stitching on 24 count Congress Ramin. Total is gonna be about 381,000 stitches. So I have right here like 0.8%, so it's not even 1% done for this piece. But as you can see, I left hanging threads that gonna go, because I'm trying to go a little square, kind of squares with the parking, and that's where all the colors in here starting to kick in. Like this is started is just like probably somewhere like here. I think picture is also cut off a little bit. So there's going to be lots of confetti and half stitching, and I already can feel the heaviness, thickness of the threads in here versus like this area. So I'm gonna just slowly move forward, and we'll see how much I can do in probably in those next couple of days, but probably not a lot, because like I said, confetti heavy areas takes much longer to do. especially in a small area. So this is where I'm starting. And I actually spent the 3 days working on that, and it's practically fully of confetti. You can literally feel all those parts, so much confetti in there. I think the biggest part in maybe 1500 or 2000 was maybe 170 as one symbol, but that was the biggest ever. And so as you can see, I finished a little bit more in here and started in the lighter colors. So let's see what it's gonna look like in the picture. So the one I just printed, I guess my printer was getting uh, cut off on the parts, because when I looked at the actual pattern, seems like if you look at the dragon, like a wing, it's cut off in here, so it's right there. So what we're gonna see in the printed picture is gonna be this practically not seen. So I'm above this area right here to start stitching. On the sides look like it's about the same, it's just the height was cut off like this much. So as you can see, it's going to be way more flowers to go to until I go past all those little flowery details in here. I think some breeder is going to be perhaps sometime in this area, but it's just going to be confetti until I probably reach this area, and might be easier on the row. So this is what it looks like, and it's I'm sure it's going to be amazing, but so far I have not even reached the 2% in here. So there's going to be a long time until I work on that. And like I said, it's very confetti heavy, but it's all worth it for this piece. So 3 days worth and just over 3,000 half stitches I managed to finish for my silk queen.